This is how a completely normal person working a regular 9 to 5 can save $10,000 in the bank. No side hustle empire, no six-figure salary, no quitting your job. That's the number that changes everything before any of the bigger financial stuff even starts. I remember my own first real savings goal was 10 grand. Before that, I'd had 2,000 sitting in a checking account that I kept accidentally spending down to zero. Then I got to 5,000 and it felt like a lot. But 10,000 felt different. It felt different because that's the number where you stop being one bad week away from disaster. It's not some magic threshold with special powers. It's just the point where the math starts working in your favor instead of against you. Now let's be honest about what 10 grand actually is. It's not retirement money. It's not a down payment on a house in most cities. It's not I can quit my job money. But it is the number that gets you off the paycheck to paycheck treadmill for good. It's the number where your car breaking down is an annoyance instead of a crisis. It's the number where losing your job means you have 3, maybe 4 months to actually think instead of panicking and taking the first offer that comes along. That's what 10 grand buys you. Options, breathing room, the ability to make a decision instead of being forced into one. Most people never get here, not because they can't, but because nobody ever laid out the actual steps for them in a way that fit a normal paycheck and a normal life. And the sooner you get there, no matter what your income is right now, the more that habit and that cushion compound into bigger things later. So I don't care if you're starting from zero right now. I don't care if you're stuck at $500 or 2 grand or you've hit 7 grand 3 times and blown through it every single time. Doesn't matter. This is the exact playbook to get you to $10,000 while working a totally normal job. 6 steps, no fluff. Before I get into it, drop your current number in the comments. Doesn't matter if it's 0, doesn't matter if it's negative because of credit card debt. There's no right or wrong number here. Just be honest with yourself, because that's actually step 1 anyway. Step 1, find your real number. Most people who can't save have no idea where their money actually goes. Not a rough idea. No idea. You need 30 days of your actual bank and credit card statements, every transaction categorized, rent, groceries, gas, subscriptions, eating out, everything. You are not budgeting yet. You are just looking. This is an audit, not a diet, okay? Most people find at least $100 or $200 a month bleeding out somewhere they didn't expect. Maybe it's 4 different streaming services you forgot you had. Maybe it's convenience store trips on the way home from work that add up to $90 a month without you noticing. Maybe it's a small daily coffee run that's actually $120 a month once you actually add up 30 days of receipts. You cannot fix what you can't see, so this step is non-negotiable. Grab a notebook, a spreadsheet, whatever, and put every single transaction into one of maybe 6 buckets: housing, transportation, food, subscriptions and memberships, fun and shopping, everything else. Don't judge yourself while you're doing it, just record it. A lot of people quit right here because looking at the real number is uncomfortable, especially if it's worse than they expected. Push through that discomfort anyway, because this one weekend of honesty is what makes every other step on this list actually work. Give yourself one weekend to pull the statements and build the picture. That's it. That's the whole step. Step 2. Automate the gap before you ever see it. This is the single highest leverage thing on this entire list. The moment your paycheck hits, an automatic transfer needs to move money into a separate account before you have the chance to spend it. Not your checking account where your debit card lives. A separate high-yield savings account that isn't linked to a card you carry around. Out of sight, out of reach. Start with whatever feels almost uncomfortable. $50 or $100 per paycheck if that's realistic for you, more if you can. The exact number matters less than the automation. People who wait until the end of the month to save whatever's left almost never save anything because there's never anything left. People who pay themselves first automatically on payday build 10 grand almost by accident within a year or 2. Set it up once, takes 15 minutes, never think about it again. Step 3. Cut the 3 quiet leaks, not your whole life. 3 specific things. First, subscriptions. Go through your bank statement from step 1 and cancel anything you haven't actively used in the last 30 days. Most people are paying for 2 streaming services, an app they forgot about, and a gym membership they visit twice a year. That's easily $60 to $100 a month gone for nothing. Second, delivery and convenience spending. Food delivery apps are a silent killer because $5 here and $12 there doesn't feel like anything in the moment, but it adds up to $200-$300 a month for a lot of people without them realizing it. You don't need to never order food again. You need to actually notice you're doing it. Third, and this is the big one nobody wants to hear, shop your insurance and your phone plan once a year. Car insurance, renters or home insurance, cell phone plans. These companies bank on you never calling to negotiate or switch. A 15-minute phone call can save you $30, $40, sometimes $80 a month. That's not glamorous advice. It's boring, but boring is what gets you to 10 grand. While you're at it, check for bank fees too, monthly maintenance charges, overdraft fees, ATM fees from using the wrong machine. A lot of people are quietly handing their bank $10, $15 a month for absolutely nothing, and most of the time you can get those waived with one phone call or by switching to a no-fee account entirely. None of these 4 things alone is life-changing. Cancel one subscription, save $8, whatever, who cares? But stack all 4 together, the subscriptions, the delivery habit, the insurance shop around, and the bank fees, and you're realistically looking at $200-$300 a month freed up without touching your actual lifestyle in any way that matters. Step 4. Stack a little extra income without changing your whole life. You do not need to start a business for this. If your job offers overtime, pick up some. If you've got unused vacation days that pay out or convert to cash at your company, look into that. Sell the stuff sitting in your closet or garage that you haven't touched in a year. That's often $300, $400, $500 sitting right there doing nothing. If you've got a skill, even a basic one, a few hours on the weekend tutoring, pet sitting, driving, whatever fits your life, an extra $200 to $400 a month on top of your normal paycheck speeds this whole thing up dramatically. You are not trying to replace your income. You're trying to add a small, steady stream on top of it. Here's the math that makes this step worth doing, even though it sounds small. $200 extra a month is $2,400 a year, which is close to a quarter of your entire $10,000 goal, just from a few hours a month of effort that doesn't touch your main job at all. You don't need a side business plan, a brand, or a website. You need one thing you can do reliably for a few hours a month, and you funnel every dollar of it straight into the savings account from step 2, not your everyday spending money. Now, some of you are going to want more structure than just figure it out, and that's fair. A lot of people do better with actual accountability instead of trying to white knuckle it alone. If that's you, I run a savings challenge where I help people build this exact system for their specific paycheck and their specific bills. There's a link below if you want to apply and see if it's a good fit. No pressure either way. This video alone will get you there if you actually follow it. Step 5. Use the windfall rule. Anytime money shows up that you weren't already counting on, your tax refund, a work bonus, overtime pay, a birthday check, that money goes 100% into the savings account from step 2, not 50%. Not I'll save half and treat myself with the rest. All of it. This is where most people sabotage themselves without realizing it. They treat a tax refund like free money, like it doesn't count the same as a paycheck, and they blow through $800, $1,000 on something that's gone in a week. I did this myself the first 2 years. I worked a normal job, got a refund, bought stuff, felt good for about 4 days, and had nothing to show for it. The people who actually hit 10 grand are the ones who treat windfalls as savings deposits, not spending money. This one rule alone can cut a year off your timeline. Step 6, and this is the hardest one on this whole list. Do not let a raise or a new job change your spending the second it happens. This is where almost everybody fails. You get bumped from $45,000 to $52,000 a year, and within 2 months you've got a nicer apartment, a car payment, eating out way more, and somehow you're saving less than you were before the raise. I've watched this happen to friends, to coworkers, to myself early on. When you get a raise, the entire increase, or at minimum most of it, goes straight into that automatic transfer from step 2. You keep living on roughly what you were living on before. It sounds almost too simple, and it is simple, but simple is not the same as easy. I got a raise a few years back, kept my rent, my car, and my day-to-day spending exactly where they were, and just increased my automatic savings transfer to match the new income. Within about 10 months, I had $10,000 in an account I basically forgot was growing because I never touched it and I never saw it sitting in my checking account tempting me. The reason this step is the hardest isn't the math. The math is easy. It's the psychology. Getting a raise feels like permission to upgrade something, and everyone around you will be doing exactly that. Upgrading their car, their apartment, their vacations, right as their income goes up. You watching your coworkers do that while you keep driving the same car and living in the same apartment is going to feel weird for a while. Let it feel weird. That gap between what you could spend and what you actually spend is the entire game. It's the single biggest lever on this whole list, bigger than any of the other 5 steps combined, because it compounds every single time your income moves up for the rest of your working life, not just once. Now let me clear up a couple of things people get wrong while they're trying to do this. First, some of you are going to want to skip straight to investing in stocks or crypto before you've even got a cushion built. Don't. If you don't have an emergency fund and something goes wrong, a medical bill, a car repair, a layoff, you'll end up pulling that investment out at the worst possible time, often at a loss, just to cover an emergency that a savings account should have handled. Build the 10 grand first. Invest later once the floor underneath you is solid. Second, stop downloading a new budgeting app every few months, hoping it'll fix things for you. An app that just shows you where your money went without an automatic transfer attached to it does nothing. Tracking without automation is just watching the same problem happen in more detail. The automation in step 2 is what actually moves the needle, not the app. Third, and this one trips up a lot of people, don't wait for a big income jump before you start. I hear this constantly. People saying they'll start saving seriously once they get promoted, once they switch jobs, once things calm down at work. Things rarely calm down, and the habits you build on a smaller income are the exact same habits that let you actually keep the money once a bigger income shows up. Somebody making $45,000 a year who automates and cuts leaks will outsave somebody making $70,000 who's never built the habit every single time, because the habit is the asset, not the paycheck. So let's sum it all up. 6 steps. Find your real number by auditing 30 days of spending. Automate the gap so money moves before you can spend it. Cut the 3 quiet leaks, subscriptions, delivery spending, and unnegotiated bills. Stack a little extra income without overhauling your whole life. Use the windfall rule so bonuses and refunds go straight into savings. And don't let a raise inflate your spending the moment it lands. Here's the bigger picture on why 10 grand specifically matters so much. Once you've got that cushion, you're no longer one emergency away from credit card debt. You break the paycheck to paycheck cycle for good. And everything after this, investing, a house down payment, a career risk you've been scared to take, gets dramatically easier because you're not doing it from zero anymore. 10 grand sitting in an account earning even a decent interest rate isn't going to make you rich by itself, but it's the foundation everything else gets built on top of. A lot of people treat their first real chunk of savings as the finish line. It's not. It's the starting line for literally everything that comes after it. The first time you can actually take a calculated risk, negotiate at work without fear, or handle a bad month without your whole life falling apart. And look, I get the temptation to look for a shortcut instead. Somebody's always going to tell you about the app, the stock tip, the crypto coin that's about to blow up, some way to skip the boring stuff. Almost none of that works for normal people with normal jobs, and chasing it is usually exactly why people never build real savings in the first place. I've watched people spend more time researching the perfect investment than they've ever spent just automating a transfer out of their checking account. This isn't complicated. It's not exciting either. It's 30 days of paying attention, 1 automatic transfer, 3 or 4 canceled subscriptions and quiet leaks plugged, a little bit of extra effort on the side, and the discipline to not spend money the second it shows up. That's genuinely it. If you made it this far, I want to see you actually build this. It's not glamorous, but it works. And a year from now, you're going to be really glad you started today instead of waiting for the right time. We'll see you in the next one.